Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. Got another Master Duel video for you. I got another build and play for you. This one I've been meaning to do for, well, since the new pack came out. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Today for our build and play, we're going to be tackling Centurion. Not Centur-Ion, but Centurion. So this deck I have always been a fan of. You know, I do love my synchro archetypes, and this one, of course, got a bunch of new support, not only a new synchro monster in the form of Centurion Premier Primus, but also a new tuner monster, Centurion Atri. So these are both very, very good for the deck and enable some new combo lines that will add to the Centurion board. And from researching the combo lines, they don't really seem to be too much different from what you're normally doing, just with a few extra steps, and hopefully I'm going to be able to remember those off the top of my head. It didn't seem that complicated, but anyway. For the build here, we're going to, of course, start off with Centurion cards. Let's see, we definitely want Wake Up. This card is good in general, but is actually more necessary than it was before. This card is good, but optional in previous Centurion builds, but moving forward, it is definitely going to be a key part of our combo line. I think we only need one copy of Atri. That should be good. A single Gargoyle. We're going to want 3 of each of our starters, which are still going to be Stand-Up, Primera, Trudea, and Emblema Oath. For this build, I think I might actually want to try 2 Centurion Phalanx, because sending this card from the deck to the graveyard is actually going to be, moving forward, part of our turn 1 combo. So I want to not only make sure that we have a copy that's always going to be in our deck, even if we open one, but also if, let's say we open like Primera plus Stand-Up, right? I like having another good search target if you already opened your intended one, right? So even though for comboing purposes, if you don't have Stand-Up, you're always going to search it off Primera. If you do have it, I like having this extra Phalanx to have another good search target to add more disruption to our end board, right? So there's that. I think that's pretty much it for main deck cards. For extra deck, we want our Auxilia, we want our new Centurion Premier Primus. You could definitely consider playing a second copy of this. Would not be bad, but I also don't think it's super necessary. I don't think 2 Legatia is necessary either, but I already own a second copy, and I know a lot of the turn 1 combo lines involve summoning this on turn 1, so I like having a second copy to not only have the option to go into on the opponent's turn, but also just for grind games in general, I think could be good. So kind of similar to the second Phalanx. Don't need it, but just due to the way that our combo lines are structured, I think having a second copy is going to be pretty good for us here. We don't need Chimera. Okay, so the other card I always forget in every single deck it goes into that I actually remember off the top of my head, Bonfire. Because it's like a searcher for your deck, but it's not a part of any archetype, so I don't know. I think of Rhoda, but I can never remember Bonfire. Bonfire, of course, being able to search the Trudea. Okay, you know what other card I want to look up before I forget it? Because you don't always play this before, but Synchro Rumble is actually going to be a lot more important to this deck moving forward. Another fairly optional card in previous Centurion builds that, due to new combo lines, you do kind of have to play now. Okay, so I think the rest of the main deck is just Bystials and Hand Traps, and then the rest of the extra deck is going to be level 12 Synchros, except for maybe like Typhone, SP, stuff like that. But, okay. Like I said, I do want to play Bystial monsters, at the very least Magnum Hut and Druiswarm, but I think I actually do want to play something more expanded with like Lubellion and Regained. Not only just very good for this deck, but very good in this meta in general. Now, when it comes to picking out Bystial monsters for a deck, right, I usually start with Magnum Hut and Druiswarm, just, you know, the one of, and then the thing that Magnum Hut can search. I mean, unless your deck, you know, has dragon monsters that Magnum Hut can search, which we actually do. Atri is a dragon monster, and of course Gargoyle is too, but we're already searching these off of our main combo line, so I like having the Druiswarm to actually have something to search. As far as the other Bystial monsters I'll then include, I like starting with 2 Lubellion, as opposed to 3 in most decks that are going to be playing this kind of a Bystial engine, because in my experience, like, Lubellion is very good to open turn 1, but it's not like a starter, right? And that often is kind of the determining factor of whether I want to play 3 or 2 of a card, especially if it's a card like Bystial Lubellion, right? when it comes to how many copies of a card I play in a deck, this is usually my mentality, right? If I want to see a card in my opening hand every single time, I'm going to play 3 of it. That's why I play 3, again, of our 1-card starters here, and the max number of copies of Bonfire that we're allowed to search our 1-card starters. If it's a card I know I can search and integrate into my combo line that way, then we only need 1 copy of it, right? Stuff like Atri, Gargoyle, Wake Up Centurion, Branded Regained Off Lubellion, that kind of a thing. Now, if there's a card I want to see, but I don't necessarily have to open every single time, that's when I kind of start to consider 2 copies of it, which is what I was alluding to earlier with the Bystial Lubellion. This card is great to open if you're going first, but again, only if it's alongside a starter, and it's really not that good going second. That's why I tend to shy away from 3 copies of this card and only play 2. Now, of course, there are some decks where you do definitely jam 3, but I think those are decks where Bystials are more core to the strategy, decks like Branded and Dragon Link. And those are also the decks where I typically play Saronir. I'm not going to be playing Saronir in this deck. In fact, for the rest of my Bystial monsters, I think I'm going to go for a second Druid Swarm, and then maybe 2 copies of Baldrake. I might end up changing these ratios slightly, but no Saronir. You might be wondering, well, isn't Saronir just another name? Why wouldn't you want to have the maximum number of names possible? I'm not really concerned with having like a whole huge variety of Bystial names, and Saronir's effect is just going to be the least relevant to our deck, right? I don't really care about sending Lubellion to the graveyard that badly, and sending something like Branded Regain doesn't really do anything for me. Now, in a deck like Branded, obviously Saronir has a lot of utility, and even Dragon Link, you know, milling your Lubellion to the graveyard in a deck like that is a lot more worth it. Same with Regained if you're playing like Branded Lost, so you can just replay it, right? Or is it the other way around? No, okay, yeah, the Branded Lost places the Regain during the end phase. But, yeah, again, in a deck like this, the Saronir effect to send stuff to the graveyard just doesn't do anything. So that's why I'm not playing it. That's why I opted for a second copy of Baldrake and a second copy of Druid Swarm instead. Druid Swarm, of course, has its very useful send ability, and Baldrake's effect is actually really, really good too. Being able to banish extract monsters as they're summoned. It doesn't negate the summon, but it does banish it. So that leaves us 28 more spots for off engine. Okay, so let's of course start with Call By and Crossout, as well as Maxi Ash Blossoms. I want to play Fuuloses because with stand-up Centurion, Fuulos is actually pretty free in this deck. Guess we could play some Drolls. That brings us up to 40. Now, what does our hand trap count look like? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 not including the Bystials. With the Bystials, it's 14, right? No, 15. No, 14, yes. 9 plus 5 is 14. I can do math. Which is not bad. But the Bystials are a little bit situational as far as like hand traps go. Not only in, of course, that you need to be able to banish a light or a dark monster, but also your opponent has to have a monster in play, which does come up sometimes. So this is the point where I start to ask myself, do I want to stay at 40 or can I go above 40? I think we could definitely go above 40. Like if we count our 1-card starters, Centurion typically does have a higher than average count. So like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 is, yeah, that's slightly above average for most decks. I think I'd be comfortable with like 1 or 2 more hand traps. Okay, I'd like at least 1 more hand trap. I think I'd be comfortable if I could put in 2 more. I could put in 2 more and go up to 42, but I'm not super trying to do that, to be totally honest. I'm thinking about cutting this second Phalanx. I really like the idea of playing it. Maybe I just jam this deck as is and it's fine. I mean, I think it will be. I mean, I am also kind of considering cutting back on the Bystial engine a little bit. Like, I'm almost kind of considering just cutting Lubellion and, not Crimson. Here it is, Regained. And then also cutting down to, like, maybe Magnum Hut, Druid Swarm, and 1 Baldrake. But at the same time, I recognize how good this engine is. Particularly the Lubellion makes it easier to make level 12 synchros, right, with your Bystial monster. So that is quite good. You know what? I'm just going to jam this, I think. But I'd like at least room for Nibiru, honestly. Maybe 4 Bystial monsters is enough. Maybe we can just cut Baldrake and play Nib. I feel a lot better about that. Okay, yeah. I'm liking that quite a bit. I think having 4 Bystials with 2 Lubellion is still fine. And I like going down to 1 Baldrake and keeping the second Druid Swarm. Yeah, okay. I'm okay with that. This looks good. Alright. So let's do the extra deck. We're definitely playing Baron. We're obviously playing Crimson Dragon. We'll play Dissipator and Chaos Angel as well. Let's look at some level 12 Synchro monsters, because there's going to be a couple we're going to want to include here. Synchro, here we go. Namely, there's Supernova and Blazar. And we do actually ideally want a second copy of Blazar. As you can see, though, I only own the 1. So I'm going to play Shooting Quasar instead, because I happen to own this. And so I don't have to craft a second Blazar. This is also an Omni Negate. However, it doesn't have the option to negate summons or attacks like Blazar does. And Quasar also notably does not leave the field. Well, I mean, it can, but by its own effect. So there's like pros and cons to that. I think overall the second Blazar would just be better, but again, I don't want to craft it, and I think the Quasar is a serviceable enough replacement. Let me think for a second here. So, let's put in another 8, level 8 Synchro, that is. Oh, and you know what else we need? Oh, and that'll round out the extra deck. That's perfect. We need Spheres, yeah, because we're playing Bystials, so that's good. And shoot, what was the other card I just said? Oh yeah, another level 8 Synchro. I think we can just do Chaos Archfiend, which this deck has traditionally played in the past. It does not get summoned a lot, but that's fine. Is that better than another extra deck option this deck does frequently play, but doesn't see a ton of play, is Artemis the Magistus Moon Maiden. If you've ever wondered why this card is in Centurion extra decks, it's so that they can go link Primera into Artemis and then Artemis plus something else into SP. But I feel like Chaos Archfiend probably comes up more often than that. Well, and also, when you're considering, like, corner case tech options like this, you do kind of have to consider the situations in which you'd be playing them, right? So I'm thinking to myself, okay, situations in which I would want to go Artemis, like, Primera into Artemis into SP. I'd have to be in a pretty bad spot. I'd have to be in a spot where my Primera plus another monster isn't enough to make plays. And also be in a position where I want to use SP, the first effect specifically, to banish, right? That tells me that if I'm going to be going for that play, it's probably going to be in a situation where my stuff has been negated and I'm behind. It is good to have an option in that kind of a situation. Now, I'm thinking about cases where I would make Chaos Archfiend, right? If I can make Chaos Archfiend, I could just make Primera Primus if it's turn 1. So, really, the option for Chaos Archfiend would be for more grindy games, where I've already used my Primera Primus and I really need to synchro into another level 8. In which case, this not only has the ability to go into a Chaos Angel when it leaves the field, but also its own effects for battling are not completely irrelevant, right? So, asking myself the question, do I want the... Which would I rather set myself up for, you know, to be in a better spot? Which corner case, right? Grind games or playing from behind? I think the Chaos Archfiend is probably going to have more impact in its situation than the Artemis will have in hers, right? Because if I'm going into SP trying to banish one card after my opponent's already negated a card, I'm probably playing into their board, and let's be real, they'll likely have an out to the SP. Even if they don't, there's a decent chance the SP wouldn't be enough by itself to get through their board. However, if I'm in a grind game scenario and I don't have Chaos Archfiend, my options become a lot more limited, and that could turn a situation where I'm staying alive or maybe even starting to pull ahead into one where I kind of decline into not being able to do a lot, right? So in that situation, Artemis will occasionally help me play out of a really, really bad spot where things don't look good. Chaos Angel will occasionally help me play out of a spot where things are a little more even. I just need to tip the scales in my favor. So I feel like Chaos Archfiend has more impact in its situation than Artemis does in the one that she's relevant in. So I'm going to pick Chaos Archfiend over Artemis. That's kind of the thought process that I try to use when I'm picking out tech cards that have like corner case uses, right? I'm like, okay, where is this card useful? What is the impact in that situation? Is that something that I really feel like I need, right? All right. I don't think I'm forgetting anything this time as far as the main deck goes. Watch me, you know, upload this into the comment section and be like, you forgot this really obvious card. But I don't think I did this time. But if I did, that's alright. You know, let's play on the new forest field. Floral Crown. This thing doesn't have its own base. It just uses the forest ones. That kind of annoys me, but I've been using the treasured tree stump. I'll just keep Sprite Blue as my mate. I do appreciate that you can set your mate to whatever you want now. I think that is a really cool option, but I mean, for me, it's probably just always going to be Sprite Blue anyway. I just love Sprite Blue so much. Alright. We are looking good. Let's go into Ranked Ladder and boot up our Centurion deck and see what we got here. But think about playing some live games with the Primite Bystial Fiendsmith deck too, even though I've already showed replays of it. So if you want to see more games with that deck, let me know in the comments below. Some live gameplay in particular. Alright, we're going first. Let's see if we can remember this combo line. Again, it's basically, if you know the old Centurion combo line, you kind of just do that, but then there's another part of it that you add on. I'll link Moha's video in the description. That's, of course, what I use for my research as always as ever. Okay, so we already opened Gargoyle, and we've got a Phalanx too. We've got Trudea, so we can go for that combo line. It's going to be normal summon Trudea, activate Trudea to place itself, and Primera from the deck into the spell trap. We're going to go Primera F, and summon. Oh, you know what? We usually place Gargoyle, don't we? Can we place from hand? I don't remember with this card. No, it is specifically from deck. That might be a problem. Because... Well, no, it's not actually. Well, is it? Because we need to summon Atri off its own effect as well. Send a card from your hand. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's activate this and send Phalanx, I think, would be the best option, right? Because we... I mean, yeah, we could... Blah, 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 blah. Control your special summon this card from your hand. Okay, it adds itself, so we do have to send Phalanx here. That's fine. What are we gonna place though? Like, is it just gonna be? I guess Trudea has not summoned herself yet, so we could just do that and just place Atri here. We do not activate that. Oh, but we already used the. Oh, but you can't special summon Trudea for the rest of the turn if you do that. Right, of course. Okay, so I think we just have to just summon Gargoyle here. We'll send Trudea to do that. But now I can't summon Gargoyle off its own effect. I could just summon Druiswarm and then, like, end on Baron Auxilia. I think that might actually be what I do here. Yeah, opening Gargoyle really threw a wrench in my plans. I don't know. I feel like there was a way that I could have pulled that off, but I'm not smart enough to know what it would be off the top of my head. Wait a second. Oh, I think I did screw up here because I forgot I could add Wake Up. No, I didn't screw up. That's fine. We can still do that. So instead of making Baron here, because we also have the... Oh, yeah, we have the Phalanx in the graveyard, too. So we could go... Like, okay, we could go Wake Up for a level 4 token. Oh, I should have summoned Primera Prime, but I couldn't because Gargoyle couldn't change its level. Right, of course. Okay, so if I summon Atri and then draw a card, I can't summon Atri for the rest of the turn. That's fine. So then we could go Wake Up for a level 8 token and just go into Crimson, and then go into Blazar and then have a Crimson for the next turn as well. I think we'll just do that. Oh, we did get a draw? Oh, I have to have both an Emblema and a Centurion card in the graveyard. Oh, and now I can't use Bonds because there's no card in the spell trap. Rating! Alright, that's fine. We'll just make Baron. It doesn't matter if we banish here because Auxilia can place from the banish. Although I don't have anything in my spell trap now, so that's a bit of an issue. Wow, I fumbled this game super hard. Holy, I fumbled this hard. Okay, it's fine. I mean, it's not, but... we'll figure it out. Yeah, because we only get to place one thing here. I just want to do Primera. So this is really just Baron Droll going into the opponent's turn. Okay. Yeah, opening that Gargoyle threw me off super hard. Otherwise, I feel like I would have known exactly what to do there. As far as, like, doing the combo line. No, we don't need to activate Baron. I should have actually made use of... the Phalanx I discarded. Was there a way for me to do that? Oh no, because Gargoyle can only go down to level 4 when it summons itself in the spell trap. Okay, so we're going to take the Rabina and just droll them, and then that should be enough to win. Hopefully. Okay, they have call by. I'm absolutely... They took Eaglin, right? I'm absolutely negating that. Oh, it doesn't show us what they added. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. I'll just negate this call by. There we go. All right, let's let's do a game where I actually like do something right. How about that? So opening Gargoyle, I should have been able to do something there. That's one of those cases where I would need to go back and rewatch. That's typically, you know, I'm a lot better at planning in hindsight than in the moment, which is kind of like, now that I say that out loud, this is a very duh statement. I feel like that applies to everybody. But this is why, even if you're not a content creator, excuse me, that it's actually a pretty good idea to like record your own gameplay. So that you, or at least we have replays in Master Duel. So just like save your replays, go back and look at them, and then, you know, try to figure out what you could have done better. Okay, so this is looking a fair bit better as far as like I should be able to know what to do here. We're gonna Primera for stand up, and then I'm gonna go stand up and activate. We can discard Fuelos for Trudea. Trudea to summon. Will not change the level. Don't need to activate that. We're gonna go for Trudea effect, so place. Then we're gonna place Gargoyle. Now we can summon Gargoyle. And we are going to change Gargoyle to level 2, or level 4 rather. So this is where the combo line starts to differ. Everything we've done so far has been pretty typical Centurion stuff, you know, pre-new support, but this is where it differs. You actually do want Gargoyle to go down to level 4, so that way you can sink into an 8. That 8, of course, being the Primera Primus. Alright, now we can go Chain Link 1 Primera Primus, and Chain Link 2 Gargoyle. Chain blocking the Primera Primus search from Ash Blossom, although of course they probably would have done it against the Primera. Oh, it's Saronir, huh? Saronir on Gargoyle. That is going to cause some complications, but it's not the end of the world. 60 card decks are probably unbranded. I didn't notice that before, but it's fine. Okay. So of course we're going to add the Emblema Oath. Oh, I could destroy a card. Interesting. On each field. Do I want to do that? Do I want to pop my Trudea to pop their Saronir? I feel like the answer is no. Yeah, I'm not going to do it. Okay, so normally we'd have Gargoyle in hand, and we need Gargoyle to make one of our 12s, but we should still be able to make a good amount of stuff here regardless. So let me go for Emblema Oath. Centurion monster from your deck to spell trap. Yes, that's what I want to do. I want to place Atri. So we have an Emblema card and a Centurion monster in our graveyard, so this is live now. So then we go summon Atri. I don't use the effect to draw because we need to summon Atri again. So no effect there. Interesting. That was the 5th summon. I really hope that's not Nibiru. But we're just going to go for Auxilia at this point, and then normally Auxilia would add Wake Up, but we can just add a... We can just add a Phalanx here because we already have Wake Up. I wonder if they're bluffing Nib. Brandon almost never plays Nib. Almost. Yeah, I'm just gonna add Phalanx here. But I think this might be where I needed... Oh no, because, yeah, no, I go Wake Up for a level 4 token. And then I can mill... I can banish Wake Up to mill the other Phalanx and then summon Primera Primus. And then that's where we go for... And it was Nib. Wow, really? In Brandon? That's kind of surprising. If this is Brandon. Yeah, let's special summon. Alright, do I want to call by the Saronir? I think the answer is no. Let's see if they send Retribution. Or if it's Lubelli. It is Retribution. Nib and Brandon. I don't feel like that's super common. Okay, so this is still fine because now we could go... We'll have the Trudea. We could still go into a 12, so we could still go into Legatia during their turn. I can set Phalanx. Do I want to activate the Wake Up Graveyard effect now? Wait, I can bring back Auxilia. I definitely want to. Okay, so then I'll have 2 12s. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna send Phalanx. And then Phalanx, yeah, it just makes it lose attack. It doesn't even negate the effect. So we're super chilling right now. Is there anything in particular? No, I'll just make SP. Yeah, I'd obviously much rather have the cards that are currently on my field. So let's set. I don't feel like I need to activate Bonfire just yet. Nah, we're good. We'll let him think this is a hand trap or something. We even get to place... Should I place Gargoyle or should I place Primera? Let's place Primera. Well, yeah, this Trudea on a tuner. Right. Duh. So we have to place Primera. Well, I guess we do already have a tuner in play, to be fair. Okay. Cool. Alright, so we... I mean, obviously not our ideal turn 1 end board, but... we got there. Okay, so regained... Okay, so it gets branded. I want the Blazar more than the Supernova for sure. So let's go into that now. Yeah, I'm gonna go Chainlink 1 Primera and Chainlink 2 Trudea. It doesn't really matter. Okay, doesn't seem like they have any quick effects here. I'll sync the Primera and the Trudea. So yes. I'll keep the Primera Primus in play. Alright, Chainlink 1. Chainlink 2. Crimson with you and you. I just had the thought I could put Crystal Wing in this deck because I actually have a level 8, but I don't think that would be good. We already have Bonfire, so let's add another stand-up here. And then we can go... Oh, they're doing their Bystial. So I think I might actually... this kind of makes me wish I would have called by the Saronir earlier now. Oh, we have to because they have Retribution in the graveyard. So yeah, we are absolutely going to... call by that. Yeah, I mean, that makes me wish I would have called by the Saronir earlier, but I mean, I think that's still fine. And then while we're at it, let's just go ahead and do the other Crimson Dragon effect as well. Alright. So Chainlink 4, that goes back, and we summon De Blazar. Call by banishes Saronir, so it doesn't get summoned. And in turn won't get sent later to send Branded Fusion. We get to add Synchro Rumble, and then regain resolves that effect. Okay. So then we have Phalanx. Phalanx Blazar going into their 3-card hand. That makes me feel pretty good. Ooh, that makes me feel... Ooh, hang on. Are they going to make Alba Lanatus? I really hope they don't. I guess if they do, that's not that big of a deal. Honestly. We'll still have a giant Nib token. Can attack a number of times. It's only got 2,500 attack. Yeah, that's whatever. Like, that looks really scary, and it does kind of suck, but... Okay, that is actually a lot scarier. That is a lot scarier. That Alba Lanatus was whatever. This thrust is gonna... Yeah, because there's Branded Fusion. Yep. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Okay. Alright. Alright, there's Branded Fusion. Sending Albaz Lubellion for Albion. Now, Albion, by banishing fusion material monsters mentioned from your hand, field, and or graveyard. So if I chain Phalanx on Albion, they won't be... Well, no, they will be able to go into Mirror Jade because they could just use Alba Lanatus. But then I could use Phalanx's... Wait, is it... it is each effect. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Let's see. Can attack monsters a number of times. Okay. God. Does that make Mirror Jade? Yeah, you know what? Shoot, I don't know actually if it's good to use this now or not. Whatever, I'll just do it. It's like so 50-50. I kind of don't think it matters, honestly. Because if I use it on Mirror Jade, it'll just wipe my board and then still come back. And still get to banish a card, right? Like... I'm pretty sure that would all be true. Dang, set Albaz into Thrust is not something my board could have handled, unfortunately. This might be... Is this the first time I've ever been set Albaz into Alba Lanatus? I don't think this has ever happened to me before. Obviously, I know it's a thing, but like... Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually been set Albaz into Alba Lanatus for my board before. It wasn't my whole board here, but... They're thinking a lot longer than I expected them to. Do you not just go Alba Lanatus plus Albaz into Mirror Jade here? Oh, Alba Lanatus can't be used as a fusion material. Okay, so my play was better than I thought. Okay, they're just going to go into Lubellion and then use that to go into Mirror Jade. I see. So it didn't really stop them in the end, but I think it cost them an extra card. Mercurier, that's not irrelevant. Mirror Jade banishes the token. My Primer Primus cannot be destroyed by battle, which is definitely worth noting as well. I mean, I'm not dead here. It's gonna be a bit of an uphill fight moving forward. Still have a lot of stuff in my extra deck. Okay, sending Titaniclad, banishing the token. That cannot be destroyed by battle unless it was special summoned from the extra deck. This was brought back from the graveyard by its own effect, meaning it cannot be destroyed by battle. Oh, but they're just going to activate Branded Lost here, and then I just lose. Okay, dang, that sucks. Oh wait, no, oh no, it was lost. But I meant, what is the trap card? That's what I thought they were going to place. Okay, but they're not playing that. Yeah, you can battle here, but, yep, not destroyed. They can't use the banish effect of Mirror Jade on my turn because they use it on their turn. That's pretty good for me. Titaniclad end phase is going to summon Quem. Quem F to dump. Ugh, something I'm sure. It's going to be really annoying. 26 seconds going into my turn. I can Secret Rumble, bring back Atri, can be treated as a non-tuner to make a 12. I could go into Legatia pop, like Nib or Mirror Jade to draw a card. If I pop Mirror Jade, I'm probably going to have to win this turn. Lubellion is not a bad draw, honestly. We have the Phalanx Graveyard effect as well. All these things worth noting. Okay, let's start with activating Lubellion. Give me... Ooh, actually, give me... I want Magnum Hut or Druiswarm here. Let's take Druiswarm. Banish your Albaz. Stop you from using that later. To summon. Okay. Oh, they're just gonna put it back because they have regained, right? Of course, of course. That's fine. Whatever. Alright. Special summon... You. Card leaves the extra deck, but Quem doesn't do anything when it goes to the graveyard, right? Right, so let's get Quem off the field before we start going into extra deck stuff. Let me think for a sec. Sure, because I already have Bonfire. Stick another one of these. Okay, so I could go into... Actually, hang on. I could still go 12-12 here. Like Crimson Dragon and... Well, I could go Crimson Dragon Legatia, right? Okay, let's do that. Sifir would have gone so hard here. Oh, because I could have protected against the Mirror Jade effect. As it stands, I don't think I'm going to be able to out that. I don't even think I'm going to have enough time to do this play. Holy shit. Oh, I couldn't get it. Click it, click it, click it! Alright. No! No! I just needed to click end! I just needed to click end! Dang. Alright. Well, that's fine. I think we'll just leave it there for now. Dang, a time lost to Brandon and a botched opening against the other deck. You know what? I think that's fine for now. We'll definitely play this deck more in the future and try to get some better results. But if you want to see some smooth turn 1 combo lines, like I mentioned before, I'll go ahead and link Moha's combo guide in the description below, which is one of the main references I used for notes for this deck. Shoot, that actually has me sweating right now, that time limit. Brutal. But you know what? We live, we learn, and it's ranked ladder, so it doesn't really matter. In the grand scheme of things, it's like whatever. It's one ranked loss. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me for another build and play. Like I said before, I really appreciate all the support that y'all have been showing for this style of video. I've been having a ton of fun making it. And yeah, I think that's going to go ahead and do it for now. So thank you again. Let's move on now to our outro. Hey everybody, Hexlex here. Thank you so very much for watching all the way to the very end of the video, which by the way is one of the best ways to support the channel. Speaking of supporting the channel, take a look at the names on screen. These are folks who have been so generous as to either join as a YouTube member or subscribe over on patreon.com/Hexlex to support. There's also perks for doing so. If you would like to see YouTube videos early, as well as some exclusive videos that get uploaded to YouTube, but for one reason or another I decide not to publish, definitely go ahead and hit that join button to see content early, as well as some exclusive content. If you're looking for more exclusive content, over on patreon.com, I upload exclusive videos that are not posted on YouTube just about every single day. Whether you choose to subscribe over on Patreon, join as a YouTube member, or simply continue to watch, your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so very much. But for now, this is Hexlex. I am signing out, and I hope that you have a fantastic day.